Welcome, mi gente. This is Alan Baez coming at you with another episode of Pura Entrevista for Latin Alt Radio. My guest today, a dynamic duo capturing joy in all its wondrous whimsy through seductive drum grooves and melancholic lyricism. Despite painting heartbreak and desperation in its full nude presentation, the groove induced drum fills and catchy choruses manage to revel in pain and glee simultaneously for an experience that yearns to make the body move. After a handful of successful one off singles and years touring globally, they finally dropped their debut project, Natsukashi, to extend the joy music brings them and to really be in the moment. It is the one and only Juanpalitoschinos!
Yeah.
Yay! Wow, that was such a
That
nice
was a great
introduction.
intro.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys. How are you doing today?
People think high of us,
Highly.
highly of us. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
It's
Thank you
crazy.
for
It's
having us.
crazy.
we're happy.
Now,
We're happy to be here.
well, thank you guys for making the time to talk. Responded to like a TikTok that showed up on my feed like a few weeks ago, and we're actually
Mhm.
here. So you know what? Go on
Who would have
TikTok. It
thought?
makes your dreams happen. Who would have thunk? Now, first things first, I want to say congratulations. We're a little under a week past the release of your guys' debut project as
Yeah,
your first whole project as a collective. How are you feeling now that this is finally out in the world?
I feel free.
yeah. I think we're really happy that. I mean, we worked on this record for like 4 years,
So much time.
so we're just happy that it's out there now and that it's not just in our heads,
Yeah.
and that people can listen to it and talk about it and dance to it. I guess.
Yeah. I feel like we've accomplished something. Like I feel like the project is now for the people to listen to and let us know what they think about it rather than just like thinking about whether they're gonna like it or not.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, before we move on to the real nitty gritty, I want to ask y'all just to get a little more familiar with your background and for our listeners right now to get a little more familiar with who you two both are. Can we get a quick
Yep.
TLDR of how you both got connected?
Well,
Wow. Like
we
separately or
we are people.
we are
No, we met in 2019.
18.
18.
Yeah.
We met in 2018. We were friends, and then we started talking about movies, music, stuff that we liked, stuff from our childhood, and we just kind of resonated a lot in the things that we liked and the things that we thought about the world.
Yeah.
And we started talking a lot about city pop because it was when it was like coming back in the YouTube like dens of
Yeah.
darkness where it would pop up in playlists where you would let it play. And essentially we started having conversations where we were like, hey, this really reminds us of like the music that we used to listen to, like Luis Miguel or like Sade or like that kind of stuff that we used to listen to. And we kind of
Just made
Yeah.
a project that's called Juanpalitoschinos, but we didn't know that it was gonna turn up big. And I don't know, Juanpalitoschinos became this image of Mexico City based duo that does a little bit of indie pop and city pop. I don't know. Who are we?
who are we?
Who are we?
We're just dudes. We're just guys trying to do stuff, man. What? No.
We got nervous.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no.
This is our second interview in English, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third.
Oh,
Third?
no worries.
Yeah, no.
I am like the most like cultural no sabo kid you've ever met. So I see I was talking to your I think Daniel, your manager, and I was going through
Yeah.
all the content and I was like when I set up these interviews, I always said I gotta have that in mind of like, do they speak English? And because I always prep and then I always like fear that the moment's gonna happen to where I'm gonna talk to like an artist because you guys are from Mexico City. So
Yeah.
I'm always scared I'm gonna talk to like an artist that I'm a really big fan of, and then like 3 seconds in, I'm about to be like, oh, no sabo que se hace.
¿Cómo se dice?
No
Yeah,
entiendo.
no.
So thank you guys for being able to chat with me today. Now,
No, no.
this has been 4 years in the making. Remind me, are y'all independent, or is this project with you signing with a label?
We are
We're
independent.
indie. We're super indie, and I think we stand by it a lot, like really strongly. Um, yeah, we started like that, and that's what we wanted. At least for Natsukashi, we were aiming to build this project on our own. We met really wonderful producers along the project while working in it, and I don't know. I like being indie. I like doing our own thing and not having to like
Yeah.
I don't know send it to a label and then just approving it or not. That's
Yeah, I
something
feel,
that we never wanted.
kind of going back to the thing where you asked us who we were and we didn't know what to answer.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like the project has a lot of identity, and it's something that we've strived to keep for as long as we have
mm,
existed.
yeah,
And I mean, she's a visual artist. I studied architecture, so from the beginning there was this kind of cinematic look that goes with the music that was integral to the project. And and being indie has allowed us to kind of keep that kind of liberty in delivering this first record to
yeah.
the people and saying like this is who we are without anyone's oversight. So yeah, we're happy that we've done this in this way, I think. And we hold ourselves to high scrutiny as well, so like we're very critical of what we do to kind of try to do the best that we can. So I feel like we have enough heads giving opinions. I don't know.
No, that's so interesting. I didn't know that you studied architecture. It's
Yeah,
JP. It's JP, correct?
yeah, JP. I'm an architect.
Did you study at UNAM?
No, I started at a school called Ibero,
The better.
which is
Okay. Yeah, I
under
think.
UNAM, because UNAM
Yeah,
is really competitive. It's really hard to get in.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I got an uncle that went there, so I was about a
He's probably a
crazy
better architect
coincidence.
than me.
And I believe your name was Frin, correct?
Pretty name.
Pretty neat.
Frine. Frine. I'm so sorry.
That's
Frine.
it. That's
And then you said you're a visual artist.
I'm a
What
visual artist.
Nice. What kind of visual art were you practicing before you really delved more into music?
I was a designer. I was doing UX UI corporate wise, but I've also been doing illustration and muralism for a bit. Um, and yeah, I worked as a designer for Juanpalitoschinos for 4 years. So basically, almost everything that you see in our profile, it's mostly us, either JP's visions and mine, and also just graphic design that which they don't pay me.
Yeah, no, like a lot of it, like the covers
Yeah,
and a lot of the merch is also stuff that we do
yeah,
ourselves. And I don't know, it's hard. It's a lot of pressure, but it
but
does
it's
allow us
fun.
to do whatever we want, which is
Yeah.
great. And I think people really have resonated with the things that we've put out. So
I did not study at UNAM, but I studied at the University of Communications, which sounds
they did not pay her to say that.
Yeah, which sounds really. It's like, oh, what did you study? Oh, visual communication. So it's quite funny. But yeah, that's our story.
That's part of who we are.
That's our resume
Essentially.
mainly.
The Tinder bio of like of knowing who
Exactly.
you guys are. Now, all of your previous music shows up here. A lot of the previous
Yeah,
singles like Bella Vista. I think it's
yeah.
Bella Vista 130. Now, when was the moment where it went from you guys deciding we're just casually making songs as BFFs to wow, we kind of need to we should put these together as like a project?
That's a really good question.
It's a good question. No one's asked us that before. I feel like basically after 3 songs, we kind of knew that we were making a record. People did kind of start asking at the same time,
Yeah,
but I feel that in my mind, when we were writing, it was already kind of there. And we had a lot of conversations about the record 3 years ago
yeah,
and about what it was going to be about and what's kind of songs were going to be in it, because we also started writing very early in the process. But I do feel like around Hacerte Bien,
really?
I
thought
feel
it was earlier.
Well, yeah, because we were kind of writing a bunch of songs. The cool part about
Wait.
this was that when we started writing, a lot of songs started just flowing.
Did we write Hacerte Bien before Lo que tú me das or after?
It was kind of a demo, and there's also that one song that's never come out.
Oh, right.
So we did have like 4 songs kind of already when we put out Lo que tú me das.
I think to me it was when Lo que tú me das went viral on TikTok, and then people were expecting us to make more music rather than just. I feel like people expecting more from us. That's when it made me realize that it was not just a hobby, and I was just gonna release a song sporadically just because of the sake of our sanity and fun times.
No,
you
but
know?
I feel like if we wanted to be viral, we would have just put out a bunch of singles.
Yeah, we.
And I
never
feel like
wanted
that was never like the intention. Like we put out like 6 singles because we were taking so long making the record. So
But-
we were kind of putting out the record before
Yeah.
before we could finish it.
But we never discussed about taking this seriously. Like I remember it was just like a thing that flowed so easily. Like people were
Mhm.
expecting for us to make more music, and we're like, oh, they want more. Let's make more.
Yeah.
But it became serious, and we knew that was going to happen. Like we searched for a manager because things were getting out of hand, and we were like, okay, what? And we could have stayed as an indie, like really low profile project, but then we were like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of opportunities came knocking, and we could write the music, we could make the music, but there was just so many things happening at
Yeah.
the same time, like so many people
It
asking
was
questions.
overwhelming.
That's why we kind of looked for help because the music we had it down, we could do it. It was just kind of like, how do we answer?
How do we do it?
How do we
Yeah.
answer all these questions and all these things that are coming in? I think that yes.
We ramble a lot.
We
We're chatty
You-
people.
you
so
have
like,
to- you have to-
like you can just
Yeah.
blink if we're talking too much.
Don't worry about it. This is a space for like real yappers, and the more you guys talk, the more I'm able to kind of bounce off of. So please, no, you guys have all keep talking.
Thank you.
You're gonna have some fans watch this interview and be like, oh, they're gonna keep talking. So thank
I
you.
do have that. Like with artists that I like, I go like, no, why is it only 10 minutes?
Really?
Why is it? Yeah, of course. But going back to the other thing, yeah, I feel like that's when Lo que tú me das
That's
was
when we take it seriously. I think it was Lo
was
que
a
tú me
point,
das.
a point of inflection.
Hacerte Bien, we made it more responsibly. Like we knew that people were gonna be watching.
Yeah, but I do think that we eased into the record thing very easily. Like you said, we didn't really talk about it. We just kind of knew that we were making a record, that we didn't want to just put out singles pertaining to whatever was happening. That we did have this whole idea framed in our minds, sonically and visually. So I feel like, yeah, it was always on the table, but we didn't really know. But that was the point where it was like, okay, so we are doing a record.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with me. Whoa, gatito.
We have a little gatito here.
He was asleep. And now
He was
awake.
asleep, but I'm cooking, so he can smell the food, and he's like, "Oh,
There
is
we
it?"
go.
You can't tell, but this room stinks of onion. Like
It's not. I'm making ceviche, okay?
no, it's like a good smell, but like
That was good. Thank you
Cooking here.
for the. Let's talk city pop. I'm really
Yeah.
curious. So tell me more about how this genre motivated the theme and just like overall the name. Like, how did you get to the name of this album?
I feel like the name is something that we
If we make a timeline of things and decisions, the
The
name
name
of
was
the
the last
album
thing.
was the last thing that we knew about what we were gonna do. Like,
oh, the names are always the last thing.
Say-
Like
sorry, I should.
the songs don't have names until like we have to distribute them.
Yeah, we're so bad at names. We're really bad at names, and we keep the demo even when we recorded and doing the mixing. Like we keep it.
Yeah, the name of the demo.
Yeah, and we don't change it until we really need to distribute it.
Yeah. So that happened with the name, but so the city pop came a lot before.
I think it was a happy accident. Of course, doing city pop was like a big reference that we wanted to,
Yeah.
especially Maria Takeuchi's song "Plastic Love." we used to love it. We still love it. But we used to to it like really every single day.
Yeah, it became kind of like an obsession with not just sonically, but it like kind of the things that were happening in the song, the way it made us feel.
It's just so catchy and
Yeah,
fun.
and the melody's really good. So that
and
was
it's repetitive.
but not in a bad way. Like
Yeah.
it's like you can just listen to the musical loop over and over and over again. It was something that we just kind of became obsessed with a lot of elements about it, and especially like I said before, because it reminded us a lot of like the instrumentals that we used to hear,
Yeah.
like animes when we were kids, like Sakura Card Captor and Dragon Ball Z, you know, and stuff like that. It was really big in Mexico City. And
The songs in Spanish from those anime shows slap. Like they're really,
Yeah.
really good. What?
but
Sorry,
why did we do that? No, yeah, but we didn't set it up like we're gonna copy this music. It was kind of like there's this feeling in these songs that we want to replicate, because we talk a lot about feelings
Yeah.
as well, like with producers. And while we write, we always go, it's very frustrating sometimes to people who don't get it, because we go like this drum has to sound kind of like if you're on a beach and the sun's setting. You know, we kind of have a lot of conversations about the way things make us feel rather than how they sound or the arrangements specifically. So we try to capture that kind of thing and put it into the music that we were making.
Yeah. And at first, we didn't know that we were going to be doing. Like, of course, City Pop was a reference, as I said before, but we also like a lot of bedroom pop by then. Like,
Yeah, at the
Lo-fi,
time, Claro was a really big deal.
Claro,
Jacob
Hers, Jacob Ogawa,
Hers.
Hers, rest in peace.
But
But yeah, like different bands, and we didn't know what we were gonna be doing. Like we wanted to replicate the same joyful,
and we didn't have the
rhythm.
skill. Like we weren't virtuous musicians or anything, you know.
and we're not.
And we're
Still.
not yet. We have learned so much with
So
this record,
much.
but at the beginning, yeah, we were kind of hesitant, and we were trying to land all of these ideas.
So we just made like a simple happy pop song. Another thing is that we were like, okay, fine. Of course, we don't know Japanese at all, and we're not gonna make this like orchestral.
Yeah, like
thing,
trumpets
right?
and violins and stuff, because we didn't even know how to
Which
arrange
are-
those
yeah.
kinds of things.
And those are resources that City Pop has, but we also used like tropicalized 80s groovy music like Luis Miguel from Mexico, and that
Yeah.
honestly Luis Miguel is very City Pop.
Yeah, and it was kind of something that was kind of like a crutch that we used for a lot of people. 'Cause it
Yeah.
was like when they asked us like what it is, it's like if the arrangers for Luis Miguel went to Japan.
Actually, hold on. Let me
Yeah.
while you're talking, I'm gonna find.
I
the
love
album.
that. I love that. Just that
Yeah,
comparison.
so that's kind of the way that we described it at first, because a lot of people didn't really know what it is. I think City Pop has become a little bit more popular, obviously. Also, because you couldn't find it in any streaming services. Like it was only on YouTube for rights issues or whatever was happening with how it was tied up.
This record called Fiebre de Amor.
Has causado en mi existir la más bella sensación sin la cual no sé vivir. Fiebre de amor, fiebre de amor.
Was one of the like primarily references of making Lo que tú me das, actually. Yeah. And it's like sunset, beach, 80s, you know, like we were trying to do that. But not 80s as in, you know, that wave where it's
Retro.
everything synth and like distorted
wave.
and kind of, yeah, exactly. We wanted to make more of like a
Different
clean, groovy, funky one.
Yeah,
right?
like all this music is about the beach and heartbreak, and we were like, well, we live in Mexico City. How do we bring this
Yeah.
not only sonically but also visually
Anyway.
to this place?
About the City Pop and how we implemented it. We never aimed for it fully. It was just a reference.
It was-
but then as we
yeah.
kept writing, the melodies and the resources that City Pop has, we just kept using it. But not without noticing. Until a producer called how do you say that? Nos dijo.
He said to us, he said,
Called up on us. I no
No,
sé,
he just told
no sé
us. He
inglés.
just told us that our vocal melodies sounded a lot like trumpet arrangements,
Yeah.
and it was like, well, yeah, I guess, because we don't have trumpets, so there was a lot of things that kind of came back, and we were talking as well about how the melodies in Japanese, also the Japanese language,
Yeah.
allows you to make melodies that you would never make in Spanish, because of the language is a lot of syllables. Like it's
Yeah.
very broken up into small parts of words, and in Spanish you have longer words with a lot more. So it helped us create this kind of melodies that were really it helped us make like melodies that were really sticky. And I think that's something that we pride ourselves in, is that when people listen to the music, they always kind of have a bit of it stuck throughout the day.
Yeah.
So people were like, it is too.
Yeah, I was very happy. We really like happy, groovy, I don't know, catchy tunes. That's
Yeah.
what we aim for. And I think that's the formula that also city pop has. Like very high pitched, high notes and happy melodies. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I guess it started from a very genuine place. Like we really just wanted to make music for fun, and kind of make music that didn't exist in our country, or at the time that we were making it. So
And we didn't know it was gonna work. Like we're
no,
like,
no,
we're
because
just
we
gonna
didn't
release
because we
this
didn't
music.
care.
And people were like, this is good. And we're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, and also we didn't know if like our togetherness would work as well,
True.
but it just kind of did in a very genuine way.
Mhm.
So it just all kind of flowed a bit.
It's very organic sounding. I love it. So thank you guys for sharing
you.
that with me. Now, the actual name itself, where did that come from?
Oh shoot, I forgot
This
about
is
the name.
this is
Yeah.
a wordplay in
True.
Spanish.
Wait, Juanpalitoschinos or Natsukashi?
Oh, the name of the record, yes.
The name of the record, but what's the wordplay in Spanish?
Oh, it's just like
Natsukashi is like melancolía feliz, which it means
It's
happy,
like
melancholic.
yeah, it's like a like good kind of yearning
Yeah,
for the past.
yearning was a word. That I was
Yeah,
looking
and
for.
it's a word that doesn't exist in Spanish, or kind of in English.
It's like a term in Japan. Yeah, it's a term in
Yeah.
Japan. Like when you're remembering your high school times with a friend and they go like, oh, do you remember when you used to play soccer and it was so fun? I remember when we used to eat popsicles every time we went out of practice. And they're like, oh, Natsukashi. That is the name of the album, because I feel like at the end of the day, we were making melancholic music, not because of the sadness of it, but more because of the sound. And it's very happy because our songs are very, I don't know, very upbeat.
Yeah, no, I feel like it also kind of speaks to the people that we were, and the things that we were feeling, and kind of the things that we were going through.
Mhm.
And we also dealt with a lot of things whilst we were doing it. I think a lot of the songs also helped us figure out a bunch of feelings that we had.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a yearning in the record, not only in the lyrics, but also in us making it.
Yeah.
So I think there was like 5 names on the table, and it was very quickly like that was the last one on the list,
And
everyone was
usual-
like, that one.
yeah.
It makes complete sense.
Mhm.
And there was never another option. Kind of, it just really made sense. So we didn't think about it that much.
Yeah. And I feel like with the album, we made a more solid Japanese city pop sound that I feel like it was a really good excuse to use a
Yeah.
Japanese term for it. But yeah, it was pretty good. And as usual, we came up with that name like a week prior to distributing it.
Yeah.
I love it. Nothing but organic. If you can share with me, I'm super curious. What were the other names on the table that were potential?
You had a
potential for
presentation,
you?
do you
I
remember?
have a presentation. They were really bad.
Nah, they were fine.
I don't
We
know.
had like 3 really good that we were like, oh, maybe. But then when we investigated what Natsukashi meant, and this was like a PowerPoint presentation that JB made, and like it was very cute. Oh
It's
my
a
God.
very architecture kind of thing where I brought like a presentation on Keynote, And I was like, listen, guys, here's the pitch. Like the concept and everything. No, I can't do
Wait,
this, man.
let's read it one and oh my god.
No, they're really bad.
No.
They're really bad.
Wait, okay. The
No,
first
don't read that one.
the first one is very chuggy, and it's
Mm,
1, 2, 3, ... Let's jam.
Exclamation point. It's important because you have to say, let's jam.
Of course, that was like no.
It was very cringe.
It was very.
Then I was kind of like trying to go for like the really city pop kind of cliche things.
Like the cover that I showed you.
Yeah, so it was like Sunset Jam, and I was like, I hate this one. Moving on.
Then it was.
I like this one. This was my second favorite.
I think.
But I do think that we could use it later,
Yeah.
which is what we said. So
Which we're not gonna reveal, I guess.
yeah, I guess not, because we'd like shoot ourselves in the foot.
Then we have Juanpalitoschinos Natsukashi Nights, which it was like the album is like it's also written under the concept of a Mexican party night.
Yeah,
Right,
like
like-
kind of leaving work and the afternoon of a Friday night and like going out with your friends. So it was kind of like a night of yearning was kind of like the idea behind that name.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, but the Natsukashi.
Natsukashi stayed, but the night didn't.
Yeah, I know.
And-
And the last one is a very also bad reference, like the first one to
It's a
Cowboy Bebop. Because I was like looking like to all the references that we had when we started making the record. So I pulled up the name of one of the
I
episodes.
forgot about
It was
this.
like Boogie Woogie Feng Shui.
That would have been so bad.
None of my chips were on that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, probably there's gonna be a bunch of names on the table, but there weren't.
It was
Just
more.
those.
Yeah, it was more of the one that we're gatekeeping it, and Natsukashi
Yeah,
Nights.
it was kind of between those.
Yeah.
And maybe the other one will be the name of the second record.
Maybe.
We don't know, but we're not gonna reveal it because we might use it.
Oh my god.
Or
No
for-
shooting ourselves in the foot here. Oh my gosh, you guys opened up like 5 other questions for me.
Sure.
JP, you totally reminded me. Years ago, when I found your guys' music, you both had these. I love a good playlist, and you both had these Spotify playlists to get to know you. And
Yeah.
yours stuck out to me because you had the soundtrack from Cowboy Bebop. So,
Yeah.
because we're Mexico City, so I imagine you're both either him or both of you are some weebs. But
Well, we
wanted to
are. I
ask-
think both of us.
I want to ask you, JP. You can, Frina, you can answer this too if it applies to you. But JP, what's a underrated anime soundtrack?
Oh my god. Oh, this is a terrible question to ask me. I think you have a better answer than I do.
The thing is that I don't watch, like I do watch a lot of anime, a lot, but it's not, I don't watch the mainstream anime. I'm not saying I'm watching better ones. I'm saying that I watch like School of Life or Slice of
Shoujos.
Life shoujos, and I just watch him from the romance. But one really good song would be Sword Art Online.
Oh, dude.
The intro, the first season. Mwah, so good.
I cried.
You
Cried.
did?
I cried at the end. I was like, Kirito, why can't you just freaking be happy, man?
So good, man. Such a good show. And I remember I used to watch it at my grandpa's house with all my primos, like all my cousins. We were just like every single day after school we would watch Sword Art Online.
Dude.
And we would jam to it. Like we would yell the whole
I watched it
song.
in a day
Damn.
at my dad's like apartment. And I started at like noon, and then just kind of I ended up at 9 just like crying in the room like to my laptop, just like dude, it was intense. It's a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good song.
I have no answer for
What
this question.
about Attack on Titan?
No, but is that an underrated?
It's not underrated.
Sasageo.
I think from a shoujo perspective, Kami-sama Hajime Mashite was really, really good.
Oh, dude, I like the outro song for Jujutsu Kaisen, the first season.
So
That's a
good.
great
What
song.
is it? How did it? Como iba?
Lost in Paradise.
Lost in Paradise. Yeah, that's a pretty good
That's
song.
a really good.
And I
song.
loved how they would dance at the end.
I know it's so wholesome, and the content is really scary.
Yeah.
The first season has that. It's just nothing but wholesome. Like we're dancing, we're hanging
I
out.
know.
And then
Season is
second
super
season's
sad,
just
man.
blood and sadness and all that song. But great answers, man. Great answers. Like I just imagine you being like, I watch real anime. I only watch Zatch Bell.
Oh man.
I like that.
That's a good one. We're gonna go. We're gonna come back. We're gonna touch back on that again. But going back to city pop, fun one off the top of your head. Your favorite city pop album or a city pop artist that inspired you the most during the process of crafting this album.
Damn, that's a
man.
really good question. I feel like we don't listen to a full album.
I don't, but I do feel like the one that really
Several
comes up
songs.
is Anri. I
Anri,
feel like
yeah.
Anri's record, the one where all the songs that everyone listens to are on. I feel like a bunch of those songs crept into the album because there was a lot of Tatsuro Yamashita, but I don't think that we managed to even capture like a bunch of what he did.
Tatsuro Yamashita is like
Like we listened to it, like that was something that we listened to, but we didn't really.
it's unapproachable.
Yeah,
He's
it's like
like the
it's there,
god of
it
city
exists,
pop, like-
and no one else can do anything about it.
Yeah,
But
but
Anri, I feel
Anri, I feel like too. And
Windy Summer, Shyness Boy.
oh wait! I have a really good one. It's called Yuri Kokobu. That one, and it's like this album where she has Taxi Man and Just a Joke. It's like a blue cover with like
it's a
little
great record.
colorful wiggles. I have never paid
There's also
attention to what it is. actually.
Flight A Chinatown was something that we spoke about a lot. It was like Plastic Love, that one. A reference that we used for like one of the songs was also like fantasy, but I don't remember the artist. That was also a big reference for Tu, I think.
Oh yeah,
Like when
yeah.
we were writing it on the piano, it was a lot of like,
I forgot about it.
but it was kind of like that driving force and those kind of melodies.
You can't make us aside. We just have so many songs.
Yeah, no.
I just love them all.
No, that's fair. The purpose of that question is just so I can personally get some recommendations to listen to later. So
Oh,
There you
mission,
go.
mission accomplished.
List.
Right on Time by Tatsuro Yamashita.
I don't.
No.
You like that song?
I
don't-
love it.
I don't
I
like
love it
as
because
much.
when the beat comes in, it comes in, man.
Right on time.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with Japanese city pop just because, like, same thing. I feel like it really boomed in like 2020, and
Yeah.
of course, like Plastic Love and a bunch of other ones off of TikTok. But there's an artist named Ginger Root,
yeah,
based in California. He's always like he's really reviving that genre, at least like for a modern audience, and it's super sick.
Yeah.
So, great.
he's really good.
I really like
Going-
how he keeps
Yeah, no,
about Ginger Root. Like I really like her. He is a virtuous musician. Like you can tell. Like he plays so much stuff.
yeah,
Yet he keeps that lo-fi grooviness of it that I really, really
yeah.
like.
No, I remember when Loretta came out and we talked about it.
Yeah,
as well.
Loretta came along with. I think Ginger Root and us have the same trajectory.
Oh, but he did so much better.
Oh, yeah. Like he's
he
best.
crushed it. Yeah, no, but also like I remember we talked about it, but I was like, this is cool, but this isn't.
Yeah.
Like
What
I don't
what
want
I meant
to
was
use it as a
we're
reference.
like our projects have the same age. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. We're gonna move on to because you guys, I love hearing all this. So, in an interview around South by Southwest, you mentioned how inspired you guys are by film, and going
Yeah.
back and knowing now that you are a visual artist, it makes a lot of sense because all of your videos carry this cinematic sense of style with a lot of references to film itself. So, for both of you, what
Yeah.
three movies or directors have inspired your visual style within the music?
I feel like Wong Kar-wai is
Yeah,
the
Wonka
main one.
Wise is something that we.
The Fallen Angels movie is one of the biggest references that we have.
I
for
feel Chunking
Juanpalitoschinos.
Express kind of became more. I think we started
Yes,
with In the
we
Mood for Love.
We started in the.
Oh,
with In
and
the
this is
Mood for
also
Love.
something curious about the record because the record was supposed to be called In the Mood for Juanpalitoschinos, and that's the way we called it for like 3 years. in
I
our
forgot
minds.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you asked us, we forgot about that completely. But that was supposed to be the name of the record because we watched that movie. Like again, we kind of knew about it, and we watched it again, and then we went to Fallen Angels,
Yeah.
and that was great. And then we watched Chunking Express.
But yeah, I feel like Chunking Express had more mundane.
Yeah, because the other one's about like killers and stuff. and
Yeah.
edginess.
We're not killers. We're
Yeah, no,
misfits.
so that's why I think Chunking Express kind of became more of a reference, at least for me, where it was like, this is just people.
Yeah.
A city,
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
night,
Mhm.
moving things. Because people also die in like Chunking Express, I think.
I know, but at least they don't kill.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that would be the main three.
yeah, I don't know. But I
In the
think
mood for Juanpalitoschinos is such a good name, and now you can't use it for the next.
I can't use it.
We use it for our playlist.
We use it for our playlist, which makes a lot of sense. But I mean, we were so sure about it, but it had a lot of problems. It
What?
wasn't that worldwide easy to say for everyone in the world. In the mood for Juanpalitoschinos.
In the mood for Juanpalitoschinos.
Juanpalitoschinos is already a kind
In the
of.
mood for Juanpalitoschinos.
I mean, in the mood for Juanpalitoschinos, like, okay. I think there was a lot of problems.
I need to talk to my lawyers.
Yeah,
On this topic of music videos, which game were y'all playing on the Nintendo 64 in the Mi Hago Mal video?
no,
None.
none.
None, man.
I don't think it even switched on.
No,
I think they were just like with an LED light, like switching.
they
up the
never
color.
switched it on. I'm sorry. It was a fallacy.
But we got excited. There was also like a photo shoot that we had the other day, and they brought like a Nintendo Cube.
Yeah, they did it again. They
And
always
we
put
were like,
Nintendo
and we
64
were like,
to
and we were like,
us.
awesome.
And we never play it.
And we didn't get to.
They're
play
just
it.
like, imagine that you're playing something.
It keeps happening.
And we
to
just
us.
have to act. Well, in the music video, we were acting as if we were. And in the photo shoot of a couple weeks ago, we also did that.
Yeah,
It's
but
so
they
frustrating.
brought the console, and it was like, what? You know, why can't we play some Star Fox on it or something?
But that's the answer.
That's the sad answer, I'm
It's
sorry.
a sad answer. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was disappointed, but I thought it'd be some Starbucks, but it's okay. Guess we gotta talk about the album itself now.
Ah.
So there's
Oh, my God.
getting back to the album. There's only one feature on the project, Gustav,
Mm.
and he's another Mexico City native. So how did
Yeah.
this collaboration come to be, and how did he end up being the only collaboration,
Well,
Gustav was.
or the only feature, I should say?
Yeah,
no.
Gustav was our first producer ever.
no,
No.
he was not. But he came in after like
Lo que tú me das.
after Lo que tú me das. He was always kind of there. It's just that Gustav
Yeah.
Gustav
say it.
is my brother. Yeah, no. So he and I have been making music together for like a little over 10 years. So he was also like with us when we started making the music. He wasn't involved, but he was always kind of there. He helped us out. And then when we started making more music, we kind of tried it out with him, and it turned out to be great because he kind of understands us.
Yeah.
He understands me because we've done it so long, and he understands you. I don't know why. But
Like, you know that we were saying before about like us describing a feeling about a song of being on the beach and being joyful. And it's like, how
Yeah.
do you put that in chords or as a progression
Yeah.
or write a hook. And I think Gustav was really good at nailing what we felt and what we wanted to write when we didn't have the knowledge of composing with like really big instruments.
I know why he didn't produce the first songs.
Why?
Because he wasn't a producer then.
He wasn't a producer.
My brother started as a musician as well. Like
Yeah,
we both
that
started
is
as
true.
musicians. And then during the pandemic, when we started writing a lot, he started producing.
He also moved to Sweden.
He lives in Sweden.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of back and forth, and he started learning how to produce, and we started learning how to write a lot better, and started to do more stuff like that. So we all kind of grew up together as well.
Yeah, and we wrote together "Por qué no contestas?" and that song was sitting there for a long time.
That's one of the songs that took the most time.
Took the most time to mix or finding the perfect sound for it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like Goose has been able to figure out a couple of songs that we had no idea what to do with. Like, ¿Por qué no contestas? We're having a really hard time. Cuando me amabas was also a song that we had like a bare bones demo of it, and we were like, we don't know what to do with this. I wasn't good at producing either. So he kind of sent us back a demo which had like the hooks and stuff like that, and a bunch of small arrangements where we were like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, this is the song that we had in our minds, and we didn't know how to put it out there. So
yeah, I think it is quite symbolic that Gustav is the only feature in that album, because he was always part of Juanpalitoschinos.
Yeah, and that song was kind of a bubble. That song was very different to the rest of the record.
It is, but I feel like it's fresh. I like it.
Yeah, because we did that song like at our house.
Yeah, it's
like
the only
none
one
of
that
the
we didn't
takes
record
are
on
in
studio.
None of it. We didn't even mix it with like the same person that we were mixing at the time. So it was kind of like this very different thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Coco Santos from Clubs mixed that song.
Saludos a Coco.
Yeah, no. So it was like a very collaborative process. So at the end, it was kind of like, yeah, well, we did this together. Let's put it out together.
And that's why Gustav is there.
Is the only collaboration on the record.
Thank you for that. Shout out Gustav.
Shout out
Gustav. I hope he's not gonna watch this, but shout out Gustav.
Oh, I'll send it to him.
Yeah.
You watch it? I'll tell him about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell him that we spoke like 3 straight minutes about Gustav.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe he'll buy us a coffee.
Now I know we have your ceviche waiting for you, so I have 2 more questions for you.
Oh, don't worry about it. We can keep chatting.
Oh yeah.
No worries. So Bella Vista 130.
Yeah.
Absolute banger. That is my favorite song of your guys. Like that.
Wow.
Really?
That was the song that made me a fan. 2020, and I was surprised to see it again on the record, and I was more surprised that after 4 years it still sounds so fresh. I have not gotten tired of it. It's a very immortal song. So what made it so important to include this song in the debut album despite it being out for so long?
I think because it's very telling of what we were doing and the things that we wanted to do, and it also has like the sound that your dad playing the bass.
First of all, it's the only ballad in the album.
Yeah.
We don't have any other. And I feel like Natsukashi as an album, and our first album, it was about the journey that we had while we were writing the album, right? So it was just impossible to not add it. It was like part of the process and part of the transformation of Juanpalitoschinos' sound. We're so fond of it.
Yeah, it was
and I feel like
never on the table to not have it.
We didn't even, like, it was not for discussion. Like, we never thought. I will say, Bella Vista 130 is one of the songs that we play the least.
Yes.
Yeah. And I it's not that I'm mad about it, but I feel like it's underrated. Like, it's one of it's one of the most honest songs that we've ever written. Like, the lyrics are amazing. I love it.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a lot more special when, like, we do play it when it's our crowd For example, we didn't
Yeah.
play it. We didn't play it
That
at
is
South
true.
by Southwest. We didn't play it at the Bime Festival in Colombia. Like we do play it to our crowd because we know that it's very special to all of
Yeah,
us.
you're right.
But like when we have to
Yeah, when we
like
have to
do
open
the
shows.
45-minute pitch.
Yeah, or when we did South by Southwest, it was like there's no time for Bella Vista. Like we can do that.
Yeah.
So it was everything like upbeat all the time. But I don't know. Whenever we play Bella Vista 130 in our shows,
Oh,
it's
it's
a
great.
very cozy time. It's the best. It's like our
Yeah.
It
but
all started with this.
it's kind of weird because a lot of the songs, like we were kind
Sorry.
of scared because
You go.
because like the second half of the record does have like a different, richer, bigger sound to it. But it was kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting that the first songs really held up still, and I feel that that's because we were really careful with the songwriting. It's something that we were really passionate about, and about making good songs that could stand by themselves. So I feel like
I'm so happy that it's
with the
your favorite.
remastered of the album, I feel like they still hold up and they sound
I
better.
know. And there's always someone like Alan, like it's like, oh, I love this track. And there's gotta be
Yeah.
someone that loves the track 8 or like someone that
Yeah, like for example, you like Siente Ritmo.
I
I don't know how I feel about it.
really?
But I've told you a bunch of times. For me, it was like just like a track for the
I
record.
love
it was just
it.
like
I
a
love
track.
it. To me it's super powerful.
And then people were like, you and Danny were like, no, it's so good. And I was like, why? You know, people have different opinions about different songs, and it's great. You know, there was no way.
Wait, which one?
Siente el ritmo, like the first song.
The first track of the album.
That's my second. That's like my second favorite song off the album, man. Like,
That's my
Guys,
point.
It's so good.
Like when we were making it, I was like, this is just kind of like the card, like this is what it's gonna be. But I wasn't like really keen about it. Like I didn't. It wasn't my favorite. But a lot of people like you and Danny and Alan think it's great. So it's kind of funny how different songs mean different things to different people. But that it just makes all of them special. You know.
what's your favorite song off the album?
Damn. You go
You
first.
can't ask that.
I can't answer that.
I can and I will. I'll ask you too.
I feel like it changes. It depends on where you are in your mindset. Because I used to have a favorite, now it's a different one, and then it could change.
Remember when you said that we would tell you if we were uncomfortable by question?
Oh,
No, I'm just
No, that's
kidding.
fair. That's fair. We can
Just
skip.
kidding.
That's
I'm just
fair, that's
kidding.
What's your favorite one right now?
My current favorite one? I think it's Estoy Muy Bien. No one respected that.
No,
Why,
I
why
respect
is
it.
everyone so
It's-
silent about
I
it?
feel like it's my favorite one of the new ones, but I do feel that the one that I think most represents like what we were trying to do, I think I said the other day, is Cuando Me Amabas. Cuando Me Amabas for me, it was a song that I was like, oh, this is track 8.
That's so
Nobody's
funny that
gonna
you say
listen to
that.
it. Nobody's gonna listen to it. Doesn't matter. It's gonna be someone's favorite.
I thought
And
you,
it turned out I'm that guy.
I really thought that you were gonna hate on that one because whenever we play like where you're like, oh, I hate singing this song, it's so hard for me.
No. I only say it because it's like the first one we sing a bunch of the time.
I know, and,
And
it's
it's one
the
of the
song
hardest.
where he sings the the pitch is the highest. Right?
No, but you even sang my part the other day, and you were like, "It is kind of tough."
It is kind of tough. It is kind of respect.
So that's why I always say because when we do the sets, it's the set list. It's always like the number 2. So
you,
I'm like,
you did not warn.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I really like every single one of the album, but lately I feel like Estoy Muy Bien is like.
That's one that I can. That's
It's
the
like
one that I
groovy.
can listen to it the most right now.
Yeah, it's really
It
chill.
makes me. It makes
It's
me
also
happy.
new, like pseudo new. It's like newest.
It
Song
is the
that
last
we-
song that we wrote.
Yeah, it's the last song that we wrote in the album, so to me it's fresh. I'm also very fond of 2, which is like the main track of the
Yeah.
album, and they're like, we're gonna release a music video tonight at 7.
In
We're
like-
gonna be there,
in
our
like
premiere on
2
YouTube.
hours.
I was about to say congratulations for it because I thought it came out already, but no, it comes out.
Oh,
Like
it's coming out in like 2
The
hours.
music video comes out, but the song is out there already.
Yeah,
Okay.
the song's out, but
Yeah,
we're.
yeah, yeah. And like people love it, but I've heard 2 so many times that right now I'm like later. I'll listen to it later.
That was a song that we finished with Goose actually. Like
We
he
did.
produced it. We had this demo that we loved for years, like for 2 years at least. But it had like a bunch of big ideas that we didn't know how to do. Like we even like budgeted because when we
We
were
did.
working and studying at the same time, and we were kind of like putting all the money back into the project, it was kind of like we don't know how to do string arrangements for,
Yeah.
like, for the song,
It was very ambitious. It was very ambitious.
and it's gonna be the most expensive one, so we're gonna leave it till the end.
Yeah, we did that. So you said that yours is Bella Vista 130.
You know, it's kind of hard because I think the
Mm.
biggest thing I noticed was that like there's like, cause you know, I've been listening since Bella Vista came out, so this album is like majority of songs I'm already familiar with. So
Yeah,
re-listening to it, it's like, all right, what's the song like? You know, like I don't want to just say, oh, Bella Vista is my favorite because I feel like that's cheap. You know, because it's a
it's
song
valid.
like
It's valid. Like,
it's still
but
cheap.
like I
It's
said,
It's also remastered.
it's remastered. It's the same but different.
no, I think right now it's between
It's
two
pretty
and
smooth.
it's still between two and Tiente el Ritmo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tiente el
between those two. It's just such a fun little part of the album. Like I think it puts me in a good mood. Yeah, but
I like it. I like it too.
Oh, dude, that was the Saint Ritmo was a song that had like 3 producers, different, like trying.
It was
We had
crazy.
Clement, we had Goose. Goose couldn't crack it. It was like the first time that we were working with him, and I was like, it's not working, you know. And then Vicente came around.
Vicente Sanfuentes came out and it was
Yeah, and
amazing.
he's the person that kind of co-produced and produced the last songs of the record. And we met him like a year and a bit ago.
Shout out to Vicente.
Shout out to Vicente, rock and
Yes.
roll man.
Saludos all the way
Shout
to
out. Shout out. You said Ann Clemens was tried.
No, Clement.
Oh,
He's
Clement.
a friend. He's a musician. Also, look him up. He has some pretty good songs.
pretty good songs.
Clement from
Like
El
Clementine?
Salvador. Yeah,
Okay,
no, he actually plays a solo and the guitars, like a bunch of the
your
guitars
favorite
in
song,
Bella Vista.
Bella Vista. He made
We
the
met
song.
him like 3 days before we were gonna record.
Yeah,
And we're like, do you
hey,
want to come over?
we need a solo.
That's so cool, man.
And
I love hearing that. I love hearing about just multiple musicians being like, yeah, okay, let's just get together. Well, ceviche. We'll record
how
music.
this record happened.
That's how
Honestly, like,
Juanpalitoschinos is written, honestly.
yeah, a bunch of it is like that. A bunch of the record has
Yeah.
just a lot of friends and people that are more talented
Yeah.
that really vibe with the project and being like, hey, what do you think?
I love them all.
Yeah, no.
And then I'll save the best one in a little bit, but this one just totally came left field for me. So you guys are in Mexico City. What part of Mexico City do you guys live in?
Well,
I live near this touristy bit called Condesa, but I don't live in Condesa. I live in this neighborhood called Escandal.
Escandón.
and I live in the suburbs in the north of the city, in Satélite,
Santolita. My family's from Aragon.
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 Yeah. So
It's a
Our bass,
Bass.
Melissa,
Oh, all
bass
right.
guitarist, is from Aragon, actually. Ciudad
oh
Aragon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
And
out.
she's always like, sorry guys, I took forever for the rehearsal because she's far away. She's far.
I'm like 14 kilometers away from here.
You're also far.
This is
away.
a big city. This is a
It
giant
big
city.
Like no one realizes like Mexico City is like the size of California sometimes with like
Yeah,
That is
no,
crazy, man.
I'll go to Mexico. I'll visit my family in like Aragon like every few years, and I'll come back and people will be like, "Oh, did you go see like the museums and everything?" And I'm like, "No, that shit was like
so
3-hour
far.
bus ride. Like I can't do that."
Yeah,
But-
no.
But since you guys are Mexico City natives, I want to ask you, and you've also been to Japan.
Yes, separately.
Yes.
Yes.
So which is better, El Oxxo or the Japanese 7-Eleven?
Japanese 7-Eleven.
Japanese 7-Eleven.
Japanese 7-Eleven is.
There's
on
only, like,
another-
Maruchans
on
here and,
another
like-
freaking level.
Like if you want crisps or like chips, I mean like
Maybe
Mexico
Oxxo.
is better.
Yeah. Or if you want something spicy, like salty and spicy,
Yeah.
Mexico, of course.
But for anything else.
Dude, their little sweet breads and their
No.
chips. They have this fried chicken. So good. So good. And I used to buy bread and then the fried chicken I just used to make like a sandwich It was very low
That's
budget.
a very Mexican thing to do.
I implemented the methods of having like an easy, not pricey lunch in Japan, and that was
the
it really
equivalent,
saves
the
your
Mexican
ass.
equivalent of just like breaking up chips and like putting it in
Dude,
your
the gummies.
sandwich.
Japanese gummies are crazy. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
I feel
we could be ranting about this like all day.
yeah.
No, I understand. The FOMO's hitting because my friend, I had to skip out on a trip with my friend, like literally this year. But
Oh,
I think it's really interesting seeing like the parallel and like how much influence like Japanese media culture has like on Mexico as a whole. Because
Yeah.
definitely.
you look at Japan and you see how like they have mascots for everything, and then you look at Dr. Simi.
Yeah.
There's something there that
We
I
do
don't
have some similarities.
I don't know how to describe it.
I think
'cause-
we're similar but louder. A little bit more emotional.
No, because they're also kind of emotional, but they keep it back. You know, because they have a fire to them.
Yeah. I remember I was having like a foot massage, like a really quick one, like a 30-minute, because my feet were like absolutely messed up by walking. Oh, now it was like $10, and I was like, okay, fine. And then while I was doing it, we were on the second floor of a bar, like where
Where's
corporate
this
people
going?
like, wait, hold on, because they seem very respectful, but like when
They
they
lose
go
control.
out of the office, they're crazy. And I could hear a guy doing like, oh, and he was saying like
I feel like
cheers, and then and it was like he was saying cheers just like when someone like an emotional character from an anime like Brock from Pokemon was like saying like a heartfelt stuff, and I could understand it because I knew a bit of Japanese, so I'm not like assuming like he was giving like he was yelling, and I feel like we
so
Mexicans also do that.
Mexicans are like Japanese people on a Friday night.
Exactly.
That's what you'd say. But it's kind of weird because it's like Goku is like Mexican kids' hero. Like even grown men go like make Goku references,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Dragon Ball Z
Oh,
reference.
yeah.
You know, so there is something culturally there where we resonate kind of in that way. And also like fucking, you know, like Demon Slayer and stuff like that. A bunch of people here have like eaten that up and been
Yeah,
like, I'm
it's
gonna
like
call my kid Tanjiro. You know, it's like a bunch of that kind of stuff. I don't know what it is. Like I said, Sakura Card Captor, like Yasha,
We
like a
like it.
bunch of people that we know that grew up with those kinds of things, like with
Mhm.
anime or with Howl's Moving Castle. Like
Yeah, we're
Chihiro's
Mexico's
Journey is
a
also a
big-
movie that every Mexican kid has seen.
Yeah, I remember going to the movie theaters for.
Yeah, so like
Spirited
a bunch
Away,
of a
yeah.
bunch of that kind of stuff gets here.
We
I
grew
feel it's
up
also
with it.
because a lot of the dubbing happens here, and Mexico dubbing is some of like the best. I don't want to know. I don't want to.
No, they're the
Hopefully-
best. They're the best. Mexico dubbing
But-
is the best for a lot of animes. But like that's
yeah,
not.
and
That's not
unfortunately for a lot of
fair
Latin America, like they have to listen to our dubbing. But I feel like that's why, because a lot of dubbing happens here, and a lot of that cultural exchange
I never thought about that.
does that. And hasta aquí mi reporte, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Here's my report.
Let's just we're
I loved that one meme, that one tweet that was going around about when Akira Toriyama passed away and how everyone was like, "AMLO, you have to set up the statue."
Yeah, we were like
There
a
was-
national holiday. Yeah, people freaked out. People were freaking out
yeah.
because it was a big deal, you know.
It is a big. I don't know.
I don't
Japanese
know.
culture here is very well respected, and we really like it.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it. Hearing all these conversations happening, there's just like you guys said, this project has just been in the works for so long, but it was definitely a labor of love, a labor of community. Everything was just very organic, and especially with you focusing on your creative art or visual art, you focusing on being an architect. Like I feel, working on music on the side, I feel like there was just a lot of it's a lot of we're gonna get to this for the sake of our love for music, and when we get it, we get it. So, what has been the most exciting aspect of finally releasing an entire project, and what can fans hope for next? But also, what advice can you give now that you've kind of staying indie and you've actually been able to create some buzz around your group and around your music? for other folks who are trying to organically come up?
Those are like 3 questions.
How do we feel about putting out the record?
What are we excited about it?
What are we excited about?
I feel like I'm finally excited about fans being able to sing along to the lyrics, and because we've been giving shows with some of the unreleased music for a couple of years, and now I'm just excited to hear him.
I'm excited about moving on.
Yeah, I knew that you were going to
I'm
say
so excited that it's out and that we can start making new and more stuff.
that. Yeah.
I'm so excited about that. And by the end, I was telling her like, Renee, I can't do this anymore.
But aren't you excited about the touring?
I am excited about touring. I'm very happy about
Okay.
playing this record, but I'm also very excited to make more, and see what we come up with and do that kind of stuff. Because we've learned so much. We've learned so much.
We've learned
making
so
this.
much. I didn't
And-
know until we've been late this year. We were writing a little bit more music of talking about
Yeah.
what's new, and I feel like we definitely exercise the muscle of producing and composing. Definitely, to me is easier, or I overthink less. So I'm excited to write new music.
Yeah, I'm excited about all the stuff we learned and what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
That's what I'm excited about the shows.
I'm excited about the shows.
We're playing Lunario. We're opening for the Marias on the 12th of June here in Mexico City. So yeah, we have the Lunario gig here in Mexico City. It's an important venue
It's a very
that I
important
feel
venue.
like it's a place where we've seen a lot of artists that we really
Yeah.
respected when we were just fans.
And what else? I'm excited about some collaborations coming their way.
Yeah, I'm excited to just make stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And what was the other thing?
The advice that we would say.
No, 'cause there was 3 questions.
That was
We're
it?
missing one.
No, we did.
If you guys had any advice to any other small artists that were just trying to grow their brand and create their music organically, how you guys have just how you guys have, what would that advice be?
I would say stay indie until you figure out your sound and the brand and the voice that you're gonna be doing as for your project or as an artist.
Yeah, I feel like be careful with what you spend your time with, because the tools that we have now allow everyone to kind of present their project in whatever way they want, to
Yeah.
frame themselves and present it however they want with the tools that they have at their disposal. So be very conscious about the references, about what you want to portray, how you want to be perceived, all those kinds of things, so that you don't waste your time trying to make content that you think is going to work.
Yeah.
Because if it worked, then it's done. That worked for someone else, and you have the opportunity to make something new, to be the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you have to be very careful with how you spend your time, especially when you're very indie and you're doing other stuff, and so be very decisive with those kinds of things, and put stuff out.
Yeah.
Be decisive, but also be decisive in just here's the song, here's the video, there you go. Because if not, you'll just keep all these stuff in and put out the things that you think are going to work, and you're going to divide yourself into a bunch of things that be a spear.
Yeah. Also, let go of the being virtuous and just I just want to put music that no one will understand. Part of what makes people turn heads is
Passion.
you being genuine and
Yeah.
passionate and committed, and just
Yeah.
not bragging, or the more earnest you are
Yeah.
about your project, the better it will be, because you won't be you won't be lying
Yeah.
at all. You're just doing your thing
Yeah.
and having fun, man. people stress out so much or frustrate about numbers.
Yeah, there's nothing that connects more than seeing someone
Yeah.
be passionate
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Like even when someone talks to you and they're like, "I love friggin' Playmobil." I don't know. I love
Where is this going?
wooden furniture, and you go
Right.
like, "Okay, why?" And then they go like, "Because of this, and you just listen to them talk, and you know, it's kind of like that. Be like that. Be passionate about things that you do, like Finesse said, you know,
Like cats.
like cats.
Like cats, man. I think that's all the questions I got. I don't know if you guys have any any other
Oh, here we go.
lingering
Here we
comments you
go.
want to
I
make
have a bunch
sure.
of questions.
Thank you guys for being so cordial and just so like comfortable. Like I really appreciate like a lot of good energy right now. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a
this is
nice
fun.
conversation.
Thank you guys so much for
Alan.
talking to me. Take care, and you guys have a good one.
Take care.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.